Hello everyone. Welcome to TISA's presentation. So, first, I would like to invite Mayank Rana to give his small introduction.
Yeah, hi everyone, and thank you, Rohil, for inviting me to this presentation. And thank you, all the participants. Allow me to introduce myself. Hi, my name is Mayank Rana. I am from Patna. I have been associated with TISA for past 30 days and have been a participant of TOPG batch, which has concluded recently. I think 3 days back. Currently, I am working in the social development sector with uh, two NGOs in the state of Bihar. Currently, I am focused on education and MSME development domains. My hobbies are quite in the variation, in the variation phase. I don't have a particular hobby, but sometimes I like to watch films, movies, and some short videos. Sometimes I also watch YouTube videos, especially TED Talks. I like them most. And I would really like to thank TISA for giving me this platform. Other than this platform, also other platforms where I have interacted with the people having the same issues, same problems, and same kind of environment which we are trying to face, and we share our experiences with our peers. So it is a very nice interaction which has really boosted me up. So like for past 30 days I have been like my mindset is continuously growing and growing. So it's like I'm feeling really good with the people. So thanks a lot, Tisa, and all the participants here. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mayank sir. Now, I would like to invite Rahul.
Yes, hello, hello, good evening, all. And my name is Rahul Sir, Sir Sarolia, and I live in Ghaziabad, Uttar Pradesh, and I have pursuing BTech from RD Engineering College affiliated by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Technical University, and I have in third year, and my branch is electronics and communication engineering, and my hobbies is listening songs and playing cricket and other games. It's okay. Just thank you.
Yes, thank you, Rahul. Uh, now,
Thank
I now I will like to invite Pragati.
Yes, yes. Sir. Uh, Good evening, all. First of all, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. And my name is Pragati Kulkarni, and I am from Vadodara, Gujarat. And right now, I am pursuing my master's in commerce from MS University. And my hobbies are to read books, to watch movies, and to play sports. And talking about the TISA experience, I have been associated with TISA for around 15 to 20 days, and I was a part of TOPG course, uh, which just which just got over a few days ago. And I have learned a lot from those 2 weeks, and I'm really grateful for Tisa for giving me this kind of opportunity where I can speak my heart out. And I, I learned so many things also so many people who really supported me. And yeah, I thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, Pragati. Now I will like to invite Mansi ma'am.
Good evening, everybody. I am Mansi Kulkarni, associated with TISA for last almost 1.5 years. I am currently 58, 57 running. So like when I had my stammering problem during my school and college days, and when I was working, there was no platform like TISA available. Neither any speech therapy might be there, but we did not have any access to that. Also, the taboo was too much for those who used to stammer. Like we all should be very, very grateful for the efforts that Sachin sir is doing single-handedly with the team, and the initiative he has taken and given us a great platform through TISA. And it has really, I'm learning from so many PWS that it is helping them a lot when they are doing it really dedicatedly and sincerely with all the integrity. And in fact, I would suggest you all that whatever platform TISA has given, if you uh, like take complete advantage of it, you will be having means you will have a good control over your speech. The days won't be very far, that for example, today I spoke to Mayank and he said within almost just 4 days of TOPG, like he had got tremendous confidence on means on himself. So it's a very nice initiative taken by TISA of this presentation and the TOPG. Rest, like about me, I'm at present, actually, I'm born and brought up in Bombay. At present, working at Bhubaneswar as station security head with Air India. And my hobbies are reading books, cooking, I mean healthy cooking, and having healthy food, then helping whomsoever I can help out. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mansi ma'am. Now I would like to invite Janvi to give her introduction.
Yes, sir. My name is Janvi Chandrakar and I'm from Raipur, and currently I'm pursuing BTech from from KNIT Jaipur, and my branch is electronics and communications, and my hobbies are drawing, playing the guitar and painting as well. So I started my TISA journey back in May, and I was a part of the TOPG batch 4, I guess. And after that, I did host like a few hangouts as well, like in the group. And this is my first presentation event as well today. So yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Janvi. Now I would like to invite Praveen Lamba. Hello, Praveen, are you there? I guess my voice is not reachable to him. Okay, so I guess everyone has got their chance. So hello everyone, my name is Rohil
So no, sir,
Azhar.
actually I didn't get any chance to introduce myself.
Oh, so sorry. Oh,
Yeah, it's okay,
so
sir. No
sorry,
problem.
Sai. You can go. Go.
Yes.
I am I am really very sorry.
Yeah, it's okay, sir, no problem. Yes, good evening to all. Myself, Karnam Sajidish. I am from Andhra, and actually I'm studying Master of Computer Applications in Jain Dimuthu University in the Bangalore. And coming to my hobbies, I am interested to play cricket, and my small achievement is I played for district and the state cricket board of Andhra Pradesh for some matches. And due to some study issues, I left the cricket and I focusing on my studies and and my, and my last TISA I attended in the 2018, that is held in the Bangalore, and that is really a good conference. And I want to look it maybe in the future in the offline mode. In the offline mode. maybe it can give some more interactions with a lot of people from all over the India. Maybe it can helpful after this pandemic. Maybe we can think like that. Thank you. This is my small introduction.
Yeah, thank you, Karanam. Uh, Pravin, are you there? Okay, I guess. Okay, so hi everyone. My name is Rohil Zharke. I belong to Nagpur, currently working as a specification engineer in Nagpur itself. Talking about my hobbies, I love reading and watching documentaries. And I have been a part of TISA since 2019. And it has been a wonderful journey since then. So yeah, so guys, let us start with our presentations. And yeah, and I will say ki apply techniques as much as you can. So yeah, so Mayank sir, would you like to go first?
Yeah, sure. Rohil, so the PPT would be shared by me or PPT would be shared by you, means.
You can share it from your system only. There's a share screen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. I'll do. So I hope the PPT is visible to everyone, right?
Yes, sir. It's
Yes, it
visible.
is visible, Mayank.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot, and I really want to thank you. It was a very nice interaction with you in the around 4:30, I guess, or no, 3:30. So thank you, ma'am. Thanks for interacting with me. So let us start. Uh, I have chosen this topic, Deen Dayal Upadhyay Gramin Kaushalya Yojana, because this is one of the key interest areas of mine, where I really want to help the youth of this country to have a better skills and get placed into the industry and earn and get financially sound. So this is something related to living with the dignity factor. So we all know what this dignity brings to our life. This dignity brings equity. This dignity brings equality into our society. So let us start. So Deen Dayal Upadhyay Gramin Kaushalya Yojana, it is also shortened as DDU-GKY, and it is one of the flagship scheme of the government of India, which is implemented by various states through the agency called SRLM, State Livelihood Rural Mission. We also call them as Ajivika or Jivika. So many of the participants here should have heard this term, Ajivika or Jivika. So Jivika is the implementing agency here. So let us come to the first slide. DDU GKY is actually a placement linked skill development program. So what this means, placement linked skill development program? This means that government through the various training agencies will impart skill based trainings to the youths of the rural India and also make the job assistance available after the completion of the program. And this program is under MORD, Ministry of Rural Development. This program specifically targets rural youth and those youths who are from the socially backward class, like who are from SC/ST category or who are from the minority sections, who are women, adults and youths, adults and girls. So all these people are the key beneficiaries of this scheme. Now, what two key aspects of this DDU GKY? They are, the first one is there is a compulsory 70% placement assistance by every training institute That's a remarkable feature of this scheme. And the second one is that training cost would be free, and the rural youths would stay in the free lodging facilities, free fooding facilities. They will also avail the free fooding facilities, as well as other training based materials which are required. So these two are the unique features of this DDU GKY, that is Deen Dayal Upadhyay Gramin Kaushalya Yojana. Now let us see, there is a funding pattern here. As we see, most of the government based schemes are funded in the similar way. Like here, 60% of the funding share would be shared by the government of India and 40% would be shared by the respective states. Coming to the next slide, we can see who are the targeted beneficiaries. So there is a mandatory rule that out of the total candidates selected for a particular batch in a particular training conducted by a particular institute, the batch should have 50% of the candidates from SC/ST category, 15% should be from minority, and 33% mandatory for the women selection also. Now, who are the implementing agencies of this scheme on the ground? They are called PIAs. PIAs can be termed as project implementation agencies. In our cities or in our town or in the places where we live, we must have seen few computer-based institutes, few institutes which also impart training on basis of the para medical courses like ANM and other things. Also, we have health lab based technical training. Also, we have few ITI based sub trainings also, like fitter, electrical, all these things. So these institutes are only called as PIAs. These institutes, what they will do is, when they will get attached to this particular scheme, they need to provide fooding, lodging, as well as all the facilities to the candidates. Now, how these training institutes are to be finalized? So now, coming to the guidelines also say these training institutes must have the trainers who have been trained in that particular trade by the impaneled training institutes by the government of India. So government of India and its various departments impanels some of the KRCs. KRCs are key resource centers. They work like a hand holding support to all the other implementing agencies. So those people who are trained by these KRCs, they will only train these candidates. So here, quality assurance is also being confirmed that yes, students or the candidates who are being trained in a particular skill, they would be trained by a top class faculty who has been recognized by the government of India. Now, what is the age category which we see? The candidates, the rural youths who are being targeted are in the age group of 15 to 35 years. Now, there is an extended upper age limit up to 45 years for whom, in the special cases, like we have HIV positive persons, there are manual scavengers, there are trafficking victims, and then we have transgenders, PWDs means persons with disabilities, all these things. Now, how will we identify the poor households from where the candidates need to be chosen? For this, we already have SECC based data. So this survey, socio-economic caste census, was conducted in 2011, and in 2012 the result was out. So every state has a record of their own socio-economic caste census 2012. So based on this, the households have been categorized into the economically poorer sections, and from these households only the candidates need to be chosen. Other than the SECC data, we have households who are having BPL cards, who also have a public distribution ration card, and also since most of the households in the rural areas are attached to the SHGs, that is self-help groups, which are being operated by Ajivika or Jivika, or we can say SRLM. So these households are also eligible. So candidates from these households can come and attend this skill-based trainings. Now, coming to the one of the most important aspect also, we all have heard there is a scheme called MNREGA, Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme. This scheme particularly targets the rural development and guarantees 100 days of employment to the rural poor. Now, these rural poor can be termed as unskilled labor. Now, government has focused this unskilled labor also, and they have added this rule that yes, people who are enrolled in the MNREGA scheme, they are also eligible for this, particularly Deen Dayal Upadhyay Gramin Kaushalya Yojana, and candidates who are enrolled in that, they can also come and join and have their skill based imparting improvement. Now let's come to the who are the key stakeholders. Here we can see I have made this picture. This picture shows top to bottom stakeholders. So on the top, we know we have MORD, Ministry of Rural Development. Then coming from the center to the state, at the state we have STSA, that is State Technical Support Agency. This State Technical Support Agency, along with the SRLM, Jivika, implements the whole scheme across the state through the help of CTSA. This CTSA, there is one coordination center in every district that is called as Central Technical Support Agency. This CTSA, with the help of these particular institutions, those institutions which will be imparting training, they are also called as PIA, Project Implementation Agency. So on the top we have MORD, and in the bottom PIA, that is Project Implementation. The course duration. The course duration is based on the NSQF. NSQF means National Skill Quality Framework. Now, this is the guideline which have been framed by the Government of India, and on this guidelines only various vocational courses are designed across India. Now, since these courses are verified by NSQF, so the courses ranges between 3 months to 1 year. And we can see the placement assistance here. It is very interesting to note that for a 3 months course, if a candidate do, he will get a minimum placement assistance of 6,000 per month. That's a guarantee under this scheme. And if a person goes for a year based training, he will get a job assistance of at least 15,000 CTC. So this is one of the remarkable feature of this particular scheme. Now coming to how PIAs, that is project implementation agencies, are to be selected. For this, 3 categories have been defined. One is category A. Category A are those training institutions who have already trained 20,000 candidates in their past history, and they have a record of placement assistance also. And these institutions have been active for past 3 years. So promoting these institutions, government says we will give you the projects up to 50 crores, and the duration of each project can range up to 5 years. Now coming to the category B. Category B consists of those training institutions or PIAs, project implementing agencies, who have at least 1 year of existence, and they have been training people for past 1 year under the Jivika. Now they will get the projects up to 15 crores, and the maximum duration that each project will run up to is 3 years. Now coming to the category C. Category C is also again very interesting. So now we have so many startups who want to invest in the skill development sector. So any startup or any new agency which has just been started, they can also participate in this skill impartment scheme as becoming the member of category C. So they don't require any past history, and based on the project reports, they can get project funding up to 5 crores, and the maximum duration of each project, that is each course, can range up to 2 years. Now we come to the role of district administration, how district administration is going to help. Now we all know that there is a Jivika in every state which functions as a nodal agency at the state level for the SHGs, self-help groups at the grassroots. Now, every district has particular offices of that SRLM or this Jivika, and this Jivika directly comes under the control of the particular DM or district coordinator, or we say as a DC. He's an IS officer. So district administration can easily support these PIAs to have their land allocated, to have the resources available to them easily. And since district administration directly controls Jivika, so obviously mobilization of the rural candidates is very easy. Now, district administration, we have two basic community facilitators. One is PRIs, that is Panchayati Raj institutions, and second one is SHGs. We can target both of them to get maximum mobilization and get maximum enrollment of the rural youths into this skill-based training program. Now, this is the flow chart diagram which I have prepared, that how the overall program runs. Now, starting with the first step, whenever there is a requirement for a particular program or a skill-based training, the Jivika state office invites EOI, expression of interest, or the proposal. And based on the proposal's requirement, that is the golden rules which are needed for the financial aspect as well as the technical aspect, if both the aspects are met, then only these particular institutions are selected. Based on the selection, these institutes start their functioning with the finalizing of the batch size. Once the batch size is finalized and once the batch is recruited for the training, the first installment is released to these training institutions or the PIAs, that is project implementing agencies. Now, the batch goes on and the skill-based training also continues. When the training ends, at the ending of the training, the placement assistance has to be given to these candidates because it is a most required feature of this scheme. So based on the placements, only second, third, and fourth installment are released, and final payment is done when the project gets over. Now, coming to the areas in which the trainings are being imparted, we can see The first one is retail. Retail means sales and all this back-end support. Then we have IT and ITES, electronics, that is. Then again, we have telecom, apparel means clothes. Then we have logistics and supply chain management. We have banking, financial services, and insurance, because currently government, both at the state and the center, are targeting financial inclusion. Then we have tourism, hospitality. We know many of the areas are also supporting nowadays ecotourism and the medical tourism across India. Then we have other sectors also like healthcare, automotive sectors, electrical sector, security, like we have security guards, and then we have electronics, all these things. And we also have construction sector also. Now, this slide shows who are the major employers. These are some of the most targeted, and they have been recruiting employers under this scheme. Some of the big names are Vishal Mega Mart, then we have D Mart, we have HDFC Bank, we have Trident Group. We know this group is very big. Then we have Amazon, we have Flipkart, and many others. Then we also have Hero Industries also. Now, upcoming slides will show some of the pictures under this scheme which have been undertaken on a particular occasions. So this picture will show you how the mobilization is done for the candidates. So the candidates are being mobilized with the help of PRA tools, that is participatory rural appraisal tools. We can also see the kiosks here, so that each candidate can locally reach out for knowing more about this scheme. Second one is counseling. Individual counseling is imparted to the candidates if they require. Then we have this particularly designed training centers where the lodging, where the training and the fooding facilities are available. I'll show you the picture. These are the lab-based training centers, and here students are imparted training based on the technical requirements. This is the computer lab. This is the industry exposure. Now, coming to the technical based skills, industry exposure is a must part of this. So candidates are taken to the industry visits so that they can learn more about these technical knowledge which they have gained during the course. This is training come practical learning, and this is hostel come mess. These all things are free. I have already talked about in the starting itself. So we can see the lodging facilities are quite good, and the mess facilities are also very good. And this is the last photograph of the batch when the batch concludes. Generally, this type of photographs are taken for the souvenir. So thank you. Thanks a lot. Any questions?
Wonderful, sir. Yeah, sir, I have.
Yeah, sure.
Mayank, it was very, very, very well explained by you, the whole project that has been launched by central government. I just wanted to know that, those who are handling this project, whether is there a level of transparency maintained? Because generally we have seen that in government projects, there is a lot of corruption involved. At least, when we used to be there, now I do not know what is the scenario. That I would like to know as to how much is the level of transparency that is maintained in this project. And the second thing is, do you collect the feedback after that? Like, whether is there a feedback procedure available? And have you, what you can say, level of transparency, to maintain a level of transparency, if you can rope in the staff who wants to work honorary for such things from cities and all that, so that it will be helpful for the city people also to know what is the government implementing in the rural areas. And those who are those who are retired from their job, or those who have taken VRS, and those who want to do some social work, it can help them also out. So is there something of that type available in this project? That's what I would like to know. The level of
Thank
transparency, the corruption, and whether the roping in of the city adults.
Yes, ma'am. Thanks a lot for asking me this question. I will start from the last part of this. So yes, for the cities we have different scheme. So we know every project of the government has two sides. One is focused on the rural areas and one is focused on the urban areas. Like we have Swachh Bharat for rural areas. It is quite different from the Swachh Bharat urban area. So, like this also, this particular scheme, this Deen Dayal Upadhyay Gramin Kaushalya Yojana is targeting the rural youths as well as for the city-based youths. There is another scheme called PMKVY, Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana. And now PMKVY is a non-residential based training, skill-based training. So candidates have to apply from their rooms or their homes, and then they reach out to the centers, and there they are being imparted the training, and again they go back to their home. So this is the thing. Now coming to the transparency, yes, there are few issues, but here government has tried to check the whole accountability part on the 4 sections. That is, first one, for every day-to-day activities, there is a MIS. MIS, that is Management Information System. A computer operator will, on the daily basis, will feed the data that how many candidates were present on today, how many faculties were there, what was the duration of the batch, what particularly topic was handled. So all these are being fed into the computer-based database on a regular basis. Now this database main MIS is accessible at the 2 points. First one is at the state level GVICA office, that is SRLM office, and the second one is at the district GVICA office. Now, since a DM directly handles this GVICA office in a particular district, so at any time he can ask the report from the district project manager that what is the status of this particular scheme in your areas. Now, the DPM is bounded to furnish him the data. The other factor is every state has a flying squad who generally on a regular basis go to these centers, interact with the students as well as faculties, and then make the records and again feed these records to the main MIS. Now, this particular feedback-based record database is accessible directly at the center. So there is no chance of cheating at all. The only chance of cheating happens when there is an allocation of PIS, right? And because states have been given the authority to allocate this scheme to particularly PIS based on their discretion. So those generally those institutes who are influenceable, they generally go under the category A and category B, and they try to grab the projects because in category A and category B the amount is huge. Now those who are the startups or those who are the new agencies, they can also go, they can join under the category C, though the amount of the funding is low, but it is a very nice start that you will be handling a new project for 2 years, and the cost would be of around 5 crores. So this is a very nice start. So I hope, ma'am, I have answered your query.
Yeah, you have almost answered all my questions. One question has remained unanswered, is that I asked you whether anyone can volunteer for this on honorary basis.
Sorry, ma'am, I forgot that thing. Yes, ma'am, you can volunteer as a but you cannot volunteer on the top end. You can always volunteer from the PIS part. Means you can join any institute where you can impart skills based training to the candidates. Many institutes, as a part of the placement assistance campaign also, they furnish soft skills based training, English spoken courses and all these things, and some of the body language based courses. So these are some of the few areas where people, if you want, you can go and uh, give your services there itself. And also you can help in the placement assistance also, because 70% placement is a must requirement for this, and 70% placement is not an easy task. We all know this. We all are engineers. We all are familiar with this, that 70% from a local institute, it is something like unachievable. So you can help in those things also, ma'am.
Okay,
Ma'am,
Mayank, thank you so much. Thanks a lot.
thanks, ma'am.
Mayank sir, I have a question.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so like my village is in Ma, Madhya Pradesh. So then how can I uh, like uh, sir, how can I know that this scheme is in my village or near my village? Whom can I contact for this?
Okay, so every state has a department called Rural Development Department. It's also called as RDD at the state, and they have their own district office at each district. They are called as DRDA, District Rural Development Agency. Actually, this particular DRDA is being headed by three topmost government officials. One of them is a compulsorily generally an IS officer, or sometimes it is a very senior state cadre based civil service officer. Okay, he would be something like having 30 years or 35 years of experience, and then he would be taken as the DRDA head. You can reach out to them also. They will also give you the information, because DRDA is the key implementing agency of almost all the development based schemes in the rural areas in a particular district. So you can easily reach out to them, and you will easily get the all the information that which type of schemes are there. Like there are so many other schemes also. There are social security based schemes, then we have pension based schemes, then we have insurance based schemes, we have agriculture based schemes, we have education based schemes, we have skill based schemes. So you can know of almost all the schemes from there itself. And other than that, every district will have a Jivika center, a Jivika office at the district itself. You can reach out to them. Few of the schemes are diverted through them, though DRDA is in charge, but they are being implemented through these Jivika offices. Why? Because every district has a very huge number of households, rural households who are economically poor. They are linked through the SHGs to this Jivika office. So they will give you the records of all the SHGs, or maybe village based organizations, or maybe the cluster areas where a particular scheme is being targeted. So you can reach out to that thing also. And for other schemes, you can also reach out to education department, health department, all these things. For a net overall view of the available schemes, DRDA is the best option. You can reach it about.
Thank you, sir.
Any more questions, participants? Shall I stop sharing the screen?
Yeah, I guess.
So thank you. Thanks a lot. Any more questions? I would really appreciate.
Mayank, excellent presentation. I really appreciate. Excellent, I can say. Very good, very well explained, and very well answered for the queries which were raised. Hats off to you. Good. Well done.
Thank you, ma'am. This is just all because of TISA and people like you who are supporting us. and who are understanding us that yes, everybody is facing the issue, and the best part is here there is no competition at all. We are not competing with each other. We are trying to develop ourselves only. So that is the best part here. So this is a life
Exactly.
phase for me. This joining TISA, doing this presentation, being a part of this TOPG is a life-changing phase for me. Yes, Mr. Rahul, you want to ask any question? Oh, I thought
No,
Rahul
no,
raised.
no. No, sir, no.
Okay, thank you. So I hope there is no further queries. So I would like to conclude my presentation here itself. So thank you, thanks a lot, and I hope in the future PPT presentations also I would be available. I'll try to make something more interesting, something more new, and I would also like to invite you all in that presentation also. So thank you, thanks a lot.
Thank you, Mayank sir. Thank you for your wonderful presentation. So now, so Karanam Sai, would you like to go next?
Yes, sir, sure.
Yeah.
Good evening, good evening to all. And myself, Karnam Sajudish, and actually I'm doing MCA final year in the Jain Muthubi University, that is in the Bangalore. And and today's topic is I'm doing like an introduction to Python. And today's topics what we are going to cover like introduction, and this is the small index. We are going to it's like small basic, what is Python, and who is invented, and how to installation the Python in your desktop or laptop, and what we can do with Python, and why should we learn this Python, and what are the types and versions in the Python. And after that we are going to some basic some basic hands-on coding like simple print statement, Python keywords, and Python variables, and how to assign variables like that. And coming to the topic, what is Python? Actually, actually, we are hearing a lot of times in outside. Anyway, anyway, software people are saying Python, Python like that, right? And Python is going I in this 2021 and in the 2020 also, due to this easy way of use and the easy way of code. And actually Python is general purpose and powerful programming language, and it is also high level language, and it is considered one of the most versatile programming language from the past 5 years in the software industry. And what we can develop with this Python, we can create a lot of web development and desktop applications, and machine learning and artificial intelligence, and many more we can develop with this Python. And who invented this Python? Actually Python is developed by Guido van Rossum, and he's the Netherlands software developer, and he started this Python as a hobby in 1989. And 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 why he kept as Python as a name. And Guido van Rossum, he likes most comic books, and that series name as Python something. I'm not sure that comic name. That's why he kept this Python. And how to install Python in your desktop? First of all, we need to open our search engines, and later we need to type this http dot this URL in your search engines. Then later we need to go to this Python downloads, and we need to select which type of OS you are using. Maybe a lot of people are using Windows, and it is easy to use, and some people, it depends on them, like OS or Linux like that. And after, and this is the website how it can look like. And after we need to install the latest version, we can click on these versions like that. And if anyone's have this Windows or Linux or Unix and other system, they need to go to these references, and they can download whichever operating system they have. Lot of people have now 64-bit. Almost lot of laptops are coming with 64-bit operating systems. The latest version is 3.6.5, and recently they released it in 2018, I guess. And this is the small pop-up window like that. We need to download. Here we are seeing, right, how many versions are there. I mean, we have like 3.6.5, and these are the some versions. Just we need to click on the download, and we need to wait for some time. And after that, we need to set up this environment, and we need to set up the variables. First of all, we need to, for Python we need to set up some variables. Sorry, my battery is some little bit low. And we need to set up these variables and all. And after that, how to open this Python? Just we need to go to start menu, and we need to type Python IDE or click open. And there is lot of softwares are available for Python, like PyCharm and Jupyter, Anaconda. Maybe in this presentation a lot of BTech people are there, right? Maybe they can know these things about this Python and softwares what they are using. It depends on them. I mean, which type of technologies they are using, and software also. And what Python can do? We can use Python in a lot of ways, like the GIU applications, web development, machine learning, artificial intelligence, game development. In this decade, we are using for machine learning and artificial intelligence to create some type of AI features like a Tesla. We are all hearing Tesla cars. Tesla cars are mostly running on machine learning and artificial intelligence. And why should I learn? Python is the fastest growing language. As per 2020 surveys, Python is placed in the first place, and 2021 also, maybe after some surveys they can say same. Most people are using this for data analysis and machine learning. From this Python, we can also visualize our data sets and all. There is a lot of things. And Python is very simple in syntax, not like C, C++, Java. In C, C++, Java, we need to code lot of things. In Python, just we need to type just one syntax, and it is easy to learn and use. Yes, coming as I said previous slide, comparing with C, C++, Java, it is a little bit of easy. In C, we need to declare these things for the print statement, and we need to return in Java like these things and all. In Python, just we need to type just print hello Bhopal like that. After that, we need to run, and we can get this output. So that's why it's growing high. And after that, Python supports multiple programming. Multiple programming means like it supports procedural oriented and object oriented programming, which is one of the key Python features. As per like procedural language means programming is divided into small parts, and it's called functions. In object oriented programming, we can do with the objects and all. So it's easy to use. In object oriented programming, the program symbols like around, yeah, it's okay, which combines data and functionalities. And in as coming to the versions in Python 3 came into 2008, and it is not compatible with Python 2. And in this update version from Python to Python 3, there is lot of changes are happened in this code and all. As we can see, this is the one small print statement in the Python 2 version, and they are not allowing these brackets. After in the Python 3 updation, they involved these brackets and all. So it's some updation and easy to use to the developers. And in Python 3, and they are doing these arithmetic functions like 5 by 2 like 2 and all. In Python 3 only we are getting this float we are getting. Actually 5 by 2 is like we can get 2.5 as a float value. In Python 3, they are also giving the float points and all. And there are a lot of keywords in the Python. Those are like 33 keywords in the Python. And we can and we can use like for loops, and we can do a lot of like for loop, and finally like use the lambda functions. And these things are very useful in the Python to do some basic advanced coding. And coming to the next topic, and we are going to discuss about Python variables. And Python actual actually variable is like name location used to store some data in the memory, and it is helpful to think of variables like and actual. And here is a small example. Here number is equal to 10. This number is going to store that 10 value. That's why we are going to assign some variables, and this number is, sorry, and this number is going to store 10, and this 10 value is assigned to this only. And we can call whenever we want in the programming and all. Here we have created a variable name number. We have assigned the variable 10 to the variable. We can if you want to create any another variable, it just we can type number 1 is equal to 10. Why we need to type number 1? Already we gave number, that's why it won't take. That's why we need to change another variable name. And after that, Python variables, you can think a variable as a bags to store books. Like it's like I said in the previous example, right? We need to store these numbers in this variable. That's why it's like bags of store, and actually we are going to store some type of books in the bag, and we can go to college, right? College or any traveling purpose. That is like some variables type. This is the some note. In Python, we don't actually assign variables to the variable. Instead, Python gives the reference of the object value to the variable. And this is a small example of assigning a variable, like declaring and assigning values to a variable. Website is equal to apple.com. Just we are going to call this website in the print statement, so we are getting this output. uh, in this about text, in the above program, we assigned a value apple.com to the variable website. Then value printing out the variable assigned to website. So just we are calling this website from here. So we are getting apple.com as a output. And we can also assign multiple values to the multiple variables in the Python, like like a comma b comma c is equal to 5 3 3.2 comma low. We can also assign strings and float values into the multiple variables. And and it is the easy way. In the first example, we are assigning a different value to the variable, and in the second example, we are assigning a different value to the variable.
Hello, can anyone hear Sai, or like is it just me who cannot hear him?
No, can't hear.
Okay, I guess might be some network problem from his side. Okay, Sai, are you there? Okay. Okay, so till the time Sai, I guess he cannot even hear us. Sai, okay, he left. Okay, no problem. Okay, so who wants to go no no next? Anyone?
Me.
Can
May I
I
start?
do it next? Yeah.
Yeah, yes, yeah, yes. Anyone can start. Whoever wants to go.
Pragati, it's fine. Like, go first if you want to go first.
Yeah, what?
You can start if with the presentation, Pragati.
Okay, okay. Uh, may I share the screen?
Is my screen visible to all?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. So, very warm good afternoon to all. Mm, My name is Pragati Kulkarni, and today I am going to present on the topic health is wealth. We all know that health is a very important aspect of our life, because without health we can't do anything. With health by our side, we can do whatever we want to do, and by keeping ourselves fit, not just physically but mentally, emotionally, socially, and by keeping fit we can do whatever we want to do. So yeah, today I'm going to share about how to take care of our health and why health is the most important thing in our life. So sir, can you yeah, so being healthy means to stay fit and remain free from diseases. What what do we mean by diseases? When there is some uneasiness in our body, we call disease. So by not taking care of our health, we get so many kinds of diseases, and there are very simple rules we can follow by keeping ourselves fit and healthy. In this picture you can see that uh, health is given more important than the money. This is because that if we have all the money in the world but our health is not good, so we can't able to do anything. But if health is by our side, we can able to earn money. And I also think that money matters, but I think more than money, health matters. And by taking care of our health, we can do anything we want. Nowadays there are so many diseases going on, and so many kinds of diseases are uh, affecting us. Like we can take the example of ca- ca- coronavirus, that it has impacted us a lot, not just physically but mentally. I have seen so many people who are phy- e- physically fit, but mentally they are not fit. Mentally they are uh, uh, unfit. They are not able to take care of their mental health. And when we should have that mind and body connection. We physical health and mental health are interrelated. Like what we eat, we become like that. If we eat junk food, our health will deteriorate. And same thing applies to mental health. What we consume to our brain, what we feed to our brain, it will act like that only. If we feed positive things, our mind will be positive and it will act accordingly. And if we see negative things like what is happening with COVID, that anything that impacts our mind, and we behave that like accordingly only. So it is a choice. to, to be healthy is a choice. We have we have it in our hands, like what we want to do and what we should not do, and by doing that we should remain healthy. Yeah, the next one. A fit body is one that is disease free and active. That we should keep our body fit, because when we are active, we we are more productive, and we manage our time very efficiently. And health is what a person needs the most in the world to strive for great wealth and future. It goes hand by hand. Like when we have a great health, we can do anything we want. And obviously some people will say that if we don't have money, then how we can take care of our health. But I think when you have a great body and health, you will uh, 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 automatically earn money, because that gives us a great motivation to earn money and do what makes happy. Happiness and health are interconnected. When we are happy, our health is also good. But when we are not happy, our health is not good. And then we go to hospital, and whatever the money we have earned, that goes into our medicines and our doctor's fees. We have seen that if a person suffers from a disease or an attack, or he has to go with a sur, sur, surgery, minimum 1 lakh is gone, because a big private hospitals are charging too much for just a one checkup or just a one surgery. And we can't always rely on government hospitals. So I think to earn a great wealth, you should have a great body and a great mind. Like a healthy mind resides in a healthy body. I think there are so many factors we can uh, take into con- consideration. Like our environment also matters the most. With whom we are living, with whom we are sir, sir, spending the time with most, and that also matters most. If we are just spending our most of the time in just watching useless TV shows, or just scrolling our phone, then obviously our health will go down. So I think when you start doing good habits, automatically your health starts good, and you can perform well at your academics or your job. So, yeah. So, third slide. Health is never a comparable thing. Health is, we can't compare our health with anything. We can't trade our health with anything. If I have 100 crores of rupees and I have no health, but that is of no use. I think it should go hand in hand. Both are very uh, 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 important thing, but I think health should be priority most, because in ancient times people were really healthy and they would not need many medicines to take care of themselves. In fact, I think at that time there were so many less medicines, but they were really fit and active. Why? Because they were really productive in their work, and whatever they would do with full enthusiasm, and their they should they got really good support. But nowadays we see that there are so many medicines which have sir 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 side effects, that when one disease is happening, but because of that disease we get another something symptoms, so that goes on increasing. And I think the main thing is we should select the right kind of medicines, and when something is serious we should consult with doctor. We should not be doctors by ourselves, that like something cough or snooze happens, we take an antibiotic and we feel good after the next day. But few hours later we feel the same thing. And some people don't consult the doctor, they feel that it will go away in 1 or 2 days, but after few days the small things takes a big place, big disease. So I think you should consult with doctor before taking any medicines that can save your t- 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 time and money. And it is health is an important source of happiness. I think what is the purpose of our lives to be happy. And I think the great source of happiness is a health. And we have seen that when we are healthy we are very happy, and by taking right kind of by doing right kind of things, that we can be healthy and we can also be happy with the same time. Yeah. The next slide. Health can't be bought. It means that we can't purchase health from somebody. We have to build it. It is in our hands, and we are only r- 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 responsible for our health only. We should take full responsibility of our health, and we should not blame somebody on this. To remain healthy, it is important to follow a healthy daily routine. By by doing a daily routine, you form a good habit of taking care of your health. It's not like one day you do and then for 4 days you skip. It will not happen. Daily you have to put in some efforts, and by slowly by a year or two you can build a good body, that there is a proverb that Rome was not built in one day. So it takes time. If you want to do 30 minutes of walking, you can't do it for the first day. I think you should start with only 5 minutes, by walking just 5 minutes, and sir, 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 slowly, increasing the time, you would reach your growth. And consistently is very important. And by doing that, you will reach to your goal. And it just takes a few hours. Daily, you should give at least 1 hour to your health. It can be anything like walking, doing some exercises, or anything you like. You should like that. You should do with your full heart, like, yes, I want to improve my health. That is why I am doing this. You should not do half-heartedly. By doing that, there will be no results and your time is just wasted. So yeah, to remain healthy, it is important to follow a healthy routine. Yeah, next slide. There are so many ways to be healthy, but I will share today some ways to be healthy. Eating healthy food. I think some people have that misconception that only by doing exercise we will remain healthy. But eating right food is also important. Eating right food at right time. We should follow good eating her 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 habits to stay healthy. I think we all should prefer home cooked food, because home cooked food is the healthiest food. We often go outside to eat, or now there are so many online services like Zomato, Swiggy. Just a click of a button, we can order food. We don't want to put effort and cook food and eat. I think if we want to stay healthy, we should take that step and eat right kind of food, that is homemade cook. So yeah, we should always eat till our stomach is filled. We should not overeat. Some people overeat. They think that it is my pho, pho, pho favorite food, so I I think I should eat it more. But that is not the case. I think you should eat till your stomach fills, and after a few hours you can have another time. And water drinking water is also very important thing, because sir 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 70% of our body is with water only. So after waking up right in the morning, we should have 1 liter of water. And we should not have water right after taking our meals. We should have at least before eating, that is half an hour before our meals and half an hour after our meals. That will help more. And by taking half an hour after meals, our digestion will also be done really good. If we take water right after meals, then we will have some discomfort, and the digestion will also not be processed. And we should always eat fresh food at regular intervals. Often, I have seen people skipping their breakfast because they have office in the early morning, so they skip their breakfast. I think breakfast is the most important meal of the day. We should not skip breakfast, and by doing that, we, by taking good breakfast, our day will be started really good. And exercising is also a very good form of taking care of your body. There are so many different kinds of exercise that we can do, and which suits you best we can do. The third point is taking enough rest. Just as work and exercise are important for a body, taking enough rest is also necessary. We should take care of our sleeping habits. We should sleep at least for 8 to 10 hours a day. uh, Often I have seen people working very late night, and then they get sleep for only 4 to 5 hours. I think that is not enough sleep. You should at least have a a a, a 8 to 10 hours of sleep. The next is maintaining a correct posture. This is a very relevant topic, because we have often seen small children, or even adults, using a right, are not using the correct posture. They sit like this, and when they sit like this for so many hours, they have neck problem. And also there are so many bad effects to it, but I think they should maintain a good posture. That is very important. And the fifth is keeping our body clean. This is a very uh, basic point, that keeping our body is very important. Right after waking up, we should clean our teeth. We should at least brush our teeth for the 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 twice a day. And by brushing twice a day, our teeth will be clean. Also, we should take care of our ear, nail, nose, body, and also hair. Maintaining by following a proper hair care routine, we can keep our hair clean. Yeah. Next. So I would like to conclude this section, and it was a very short topic, but I think it is very important. In this fast living, we often forget to take care of our health, and these are very basic things, but often people forget this. And hope this is a good ra 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 re, reminder for all the participant, that we should not forget to take care of our health. And health is wealth. Health is the most important thing in our life. So yeah, thank you so much.
Wonderful, Pragati.
Very well said,
Eh,
Pragati.
thank you, ma'am. I was a little nervous before starting the presentation, but now I'm okay.
Yeah, this is the first one, so you will get expert later on. Don't worry. Okay.
Yes, yes, yes.
Basically, I wanted to say that the topic you have chosen is a very right topic for today's generation, because even I have observed that this generation, the youth right now, are very much dependent on this junk food, fast food, and
Yes.
means they don't want to take any efforts basically.
Yes, right.
And neither those who are mothers like of my age, basically from my generation, I feel the ladies have lost the interest in the kids health, and they are more interested in their kitty parties and the other things of their own. But they don't think that uh, investing in health of a child is like saving a lot of money. For
Yes.
me, like, I am a mother of 3 children, and I'm really proud to say that none of my kids I have taken to doctor for anything for last so many years, unless like they had a fall, and if they have to take stitches and all that, only in that case I have taken to the doctor. But otherwise, everything, it is not that I give them medicines at home. I just ensure that I control their diet. We don't even go once in a hotel in a year. That
Wow.
that we don't do. And even my kids, like, I used to give them everything at home. Right from preparing bhel to biryani to Pepsi Cola and ice candy, everything I used to do at home. And that too with
Yes.
the fruit juices. I used to put like watermelon juice on that, the orange juice, then on that something else, and then 3 color candies, and all this has to make at home. So the kids were really, they were not interested in having it outside. And
Yes.
simultaneously, I imbibed on them the importance of having everything at home, and how homemade food is. And now that they have realized, both my sons are in army as lieutenants, and they also value it a lot. Like, when they see around them the boys, like how very easily they fall prey to the like diseases or whatever, in health, with the
Yes.
training and all. But my sons, thanks to whatever they have done, like small things we need to know, like eating vegetables, like all the vegetables.
Yes.
People are very like they're very obese with अरे करेला क्या खाने का, अरे सिराला क्या खाने का. This should not be there. These all vegetables are meant for eating. So
Yes, exactly.
then pulses, और फिर भाकरी बोलो. तो क्या है ना, जो जब हम घर का खाते हैं ना, कुछ भी खाते हैं, तो हमारी हेल्थ कभी बिगड़ती नहीं है. Whenever you eat outside only, हेल्थ बिगड़ेगी तुम्हारी. हाँ, अगर घर का तुम बहुत ही दबा के खाओ, तो आई कैन से बिकॉज इट इज ओवर ईटिंग. बट अदरवाइज
Yes.
घर का खाने से मैंने कभी भी हेल्थ बिगड़ी है ऐसा देखा नहीं है. और डॉक्टर के पास जितना हम कम जाते हैं ना, इट इज हमारी सेविंग उसमें है. ये भी बात ये एंगल से भी हमको सोचना है कि वो तो पैसा बचा ही रहे हैं हम डॉक्टर के पास न जाके. आज इतने सालों में मैंने मेरे बच्चों के ऊपर, मुझे नहीं लगता वो 2 बार उसका एक बार उंगली टूट ये हो गई थी, दरवाजे में अटक गई थी, और एक बार सर को चोट आ गई थी. तो दोनों ही वक्त खाली मैं डॉक्टर के पास स्टिचेस के लिए लेके गए. उसके बगैर उनको कुछ भी मुझे नहीं करना पड़ा. एंड लाइक देयर आर सिंपल थिंग्स विच यू कैन अडॉप्ट. अगर खांसी होता है तो आप हल्दी दूध ले लो, या तो हल्दी लगा दो गले में.
Bad habit
अगर
is.
कफ हो, यस, अगर तुम्हें कफ होता है तो अर्ली मॉर्निंग में सवेरे उठ के अगर आप गरम गरम पानी पियोगे 1.5-2 लीटर, और अगर वमन करोगे, लाइक वॉमिट इट आउट इमीडिएटली, होल कफ कम्स आउट बेसिकली. सो
Yes.
यू वोंट हैव एनी ब्रीदिंग प्रॉब्लम और कफ प्रॉब्लम. फिर हेडेक है तो भी यही करके अगर आपका जो पित्त बढ़ जाता है वो निकाल देते हो. तो ये बार बार जो लोग पॉपअप पील कर देते हैं, हेडेक हो गया चलो ले ली गोली, थोड़ी बुखार हो गई चलो ले ली गोली, ये भी एक्चुअली बराबर नहीं है. आपको ना लॉन्ग ड्यूरेशन में जाके आपकी हेल्थ को इससे ज्यादा प्रॉब्लम ही होगा.
Yes.
तो घर का खाना, बाहर का बहुत ही कम खाना, और जो प्रगति ने बताया एक्सरसाइज, अगर आप वॉकिंग भी करते हो तो भी दैट इज इनफ एक्सरसाइज। बहुत जिम में जाके वर्कआउट करने की उतनी जरूरत नहीं अगर आपका वो
हाँ,
प्रोफेशन नहीं है तो। बट
हाँ,
किसी भी चीज में यू हैव टू कीप दैट कंसिस्टेंसी, बेसिकली परसिवरेंस होना चाहिए। ऐसा नहीं कि एक बार किया और बस फिर 10
हाँ,
दिन उसके पास
consistent
ध्यान ही नहीं
input.
दिए। Yes. So very nicely you have explained, Pragati, all the points which are required. Rest is also very important. Minimum, like 7 to 8 hours of rest. रात को जागना नहीं है। बहुत से लोगों को ना ये टीवी देखना, नेटफ्लिक्स, अभी आजकल
मोबाइल
तो
में
मैंने
स्क्रॉल
देखा
करते रहना।
हॉबी, या हॉबी पूछेंगे तो नेटफ्लिक्स पे मूवी देखना। बट इज दिस अ हॉबी? मुझे
No,
समझ में नहीं आ रहा है कि
नहीं।
ये कैसी हॉबी बनाई। रात रात तक जाग के 1-2 बजे तक जागते हुए वो मैसेजेस देखो, मूवीज देखो, ये सब हमको थोड़ा सा ना रेस्ट्रिक्ट करना है। हमको एक कंट्रोल होता है वो अपने ऊपर रखना चाहिए। विद दैट कंट्रोल ओनली यू विल गेट अ गुड हेल्थ। कंट्रोल ऑन योर टंग, if you control the tip of your tongue, you can control the whole health of your body. If you lose that control on the tip of tongue, you are going to lose your body. That one has to remember.
Yes. Yes, right.
Anyway,
Right.
I'm done.
Thank you so much, man, for your feedback.
Yeah.
I guess Rahul has a doubt.
Yes.
He has a question to ask.
Yes, Rahul.
No question for anything.
No, your hand is raised, so that's why
Oh,
I
acha,
thought.
sorry.
Okay. Okay, no, it's fine. It's okay.
So I guess anyone doesn't have a question. So yeah, thank you, Pragati. Thank you
Thank
for
you so
your
much.
presentation.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, so Janvi, you can go next. I will pause the
Okay.
recording.
Thank you, sir. हेलो, यस, आप मेरी स्क्रीन दिख रही है सर?
हाँ राहुल जी, आपकी स्क्रीन
ओके सर।
दिख रही है।
तो यस, माय टॉपिक इज स्ट्रेस। और स्ट्रेस हमारे जीवन में एक महत्वपूर्ण चीज है जो स्ट्रेस है, और हम उसी के बारे में आज डिस्कस करेंगे कि ये हमारे लिए कितना खतरनाक है और क्या ये हमारे लिए जरूरी है। चलो, आर यू स्ट्रेस? हमको कैसे पता चलेगा क्या हम स्ट्रेस में है या हम स्ट्रेस को हैंडल कर रहे हैं? तो व्हाट इज स्ट्रेस? सबसे पहले क्वेश्चन यही आता है कि आखिर स्ट्रेस है क्या? स्ट्रेस एक प्रकार से हमारी बॉडी में जो ऑटोमेटिक फिजिकल हो या मेंटली हो या किसी भी प्रकार का रेस्पॉन्स या चेंजमेंट जो हमें किसी चीज के लिए सोचने पर मजबूर करे, इसको ही स्ट्रेस कहते हैं। और जब हमें स्ट्रेस आता है तो हमारे एड्रेनल ग्लैंड जो होती है वो हमारे हार्ट की गति को तेज कर देती है, और कोर्टिसोल हमारे माइंड में उस स्ट्रेस को हैंडल करने के लिए स्टार्ट हो जाता है। एड्रेनलिन हमारे शरीर में एक ग्रंथि होती है, और स्ट्रेस को हम फाइट या किसी फाइट को रेस्पॉन्स नहीं कह सकते। फाइट होती है तो स्ट्रेस आता ही आता है। एंड सेकंड, इज ऑल स्ट्रेस इज बैड? क्या सभी स्ट्रेस हमारे लिए बैड होते हैं। तो मॉडरेट स्ट्रेस में भी लेवल 4 स्ट्रेस में एक्चुअली इम्प्रूव परफॉर्मेंस एंड एफिशिएंसी। कुछ स्ट्रेस को हम अपनी परफॉर्मेंस एंड एफिशिएंसी से हैंडल कर सकते हैं, लेकिन कुछ लिटिल स्ट्रेस हमारे लिए खतरनाक हो सकते हैं। ये हमारे लिए उदासी का कारण बन सकते हैं या किसी और बड़ी बीमारी का। अगर हम रोज या डेली स्ट्रेस में रहते हैं तो ये हमारी जानलेवा भी साबित हो सकता है। एंड नेक्स्ट, टू मच स्ट्रेस में केस इन अनप्रोडक्टिविटी एंजाइटी लेवल। कुछ स्ट्रेस इतने खतरनाक भी हो सकते हैं जो हमें हर वक्त या तो एंजाइटी आती रहती है या हम किसी चीज को सोचते सोचते उस चीज में नेगेटिव आ जाती है। तो ये एक खतरनाक। एंड नेक्स्ट, आइडेंटिफाई स्ट्रेसेस। हम स्ट्रेस को कैसे आइडेंटिफाई करें, ये एक सबसे महत्वपूर्ण पॉइंट हो सकता है, क्योंकि हमें अभी तक यही समझ में नहीं आता कि आखिर स्ट्रेस क्या है। स्ट्रेस एक सिचुएशंस हो सकता है, एक्टिविटीज एंड रिलेशनशिप दैट केसेस एंड जो हमारे लिए आघात या किसी बैड सिचुएशंस में हो सकता है। और ये एक फिजिकली इमोशंस और हमारे स्वयं के लिए या सेल्फ के लिए भी एक आइडेंटिफाई कर सकता है। एंड नेक्स्ट, स्ट्रेस। आखिर हमको स्ट्रेस आता क्यों है? सबसे पहले हम अपने जीवन से ही स्टार्ट करते हैं। स्कूल, बहुत से बच्चे को स्कूल लाइफ से ही स्ट्रेस आ जाता है। कुछ स्ट्रेस एक प्रकार से स्कूल में हम उसको भी कह सकते हैं, हमें टीचर ने काम दिया और वो हमारी पहुंच से दूर है या हम उसको कर नहीं सकते, तो हम उस काम को बार बार सोचते रहेंगे। तो ये भी एक प्रकार से स्ट्रेस है। अब आता है वर्क पर भी हम काफी बार स्ट्रेस ले लेते हैं। अगर हमें बॉस ने या किसी जॉब या एनीवन कोई भी काम है उसको हम सोच रहे हैं या हम उसके बारे में नहीं कर सकते या उसको हम करने के लिए सोच रहे हैं, तो अगर हम इस वर्क पर बार बार कंटिन्यूसली सोच रहे हैं, विचार कर रहे हैं, तो ये भी एक स्ट्रेस का कारण हो सकता है। फैमिली, ये एक मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट पॉइंट हो सकता है, क्योंकि ज्यादातर पीपल्स फैमिलीज के बारे में ज्यादा सोचते हैं। अगर सैलरी कम है तो उसके बारे में सोचते रहेंगे कि खर्चे या अन्य चीजें कैसे चलेगी। एंड और भी बहुत कुछ फैमिली इश्यूज हो सकते हैं, तो ये भी स्ट्रेस में आता है। रिलेशनशिप, बहुत से कपल्स, हम कपल्स का ही उदाहरण ले सकते हैं। किसी कपल्स में रोज झगड़े आदि होते रहते हैं, तो ये एक सबसे ज्यादा स्ट्रेस का कारण हो सकता है। लीगल, फाइनेंस, हेल्थ एंड एनवायरनमेंट, ये भी इन्हीं के बारे में सोचना, ये सब हमारे डेली लाइफ में के फैक्टर्स है जो हमारे स्ट्रेस पर काम करते हैं। और लगभग सभी पीपल्स इन फैक्टर्स पर सोचते रहते हैं। और लिविंग सिचुएशंस, कोई ये भी सोच या किसी और जगह रहना है, तो इसका भी कारण हो सकता है ये। एंड नेक्स्ट, नेगेटिव इफेक्ट्स ऑफ स्ट्रेस। नेगेटिव इफेक्ट्स का हमारे लाइफ पर क्या प्रभाव पड़ता है? फिजिकली में हम बात करें तो वेट गेन लॉस, अन वेट गेन या लॉस, हमें वजन हमारा बढ़ रहा है तो ये भी इसके बारे में सोचना, या हमारा वजन घट रहा है तो उसके बारे में भी सोचना। तो एंड हमारे बाल झड़ना ये भी, एंड हार्ट पल्सेस, कभी कभी स्ट्रेस से या हम किसी बात को सोचने या एंजाइटी से हमारी हार्ट की गति तेज हो जाती है, एंड हाई ब्लड प्रेशर, ये सभी फैक्टर्स फिजिकली ये स्ट्रेस से ही आते हैं। एंड इमोशंस, मूड सेविंग, एंजाइटी can lead depressions and can also lead unhealthy coping strategies, alcohol, drugs. कभी कभी हम स्ट्रेस से ही एक ऊपर लेवल क्रॉस कर जाते हैं जिसे डिप्रेशन कहते हैं, एंड हम किसी चीज को जो हमारे लिए अनएक्सपेक्टेड है उसको हम सोचते सोचते कभी कभी अल्कोहल या ड्रग्स, इट मीन्स नशे के आदि भी हो जाते हैं। एंड नेक्स्ट, मीनिंग फॉर स्ट्रेस ना मैनेजिंग फॉर स्ट्रेस, हम स्ट्रेस को कैसे मैनेज करें या स्ट्रेस से कैसे अपने आप को सुरक्षित करें। स्ट्रेस रिलीफ स्ट्रेटजीज, बॉडी रिलैक्सेशन एक्सरसाइज, हम सबसे पहले तो हम बॉडी अपने एक्सरसाइज कर सकते हैं सुबह को, शाम को, या सबसे अच्छा सुबह उठकर। एंड ब्रीथिंग टेक्निक्स, इमेजिनरी, गाइडेड इमेजिनरी, हम एंड फिजिकली एक्सरसाइज जैसे योगा, वर्कआउट रूटीन, हम स्ट्रेस को रिलैक्स या रिलीव करने के लिए योगा कर सकते हैं, वर्कआउट कर सकते हैं, ब्रीथिंग टेक्निक्स का यूज कर सकते हैं, एंड एक्सरसाइज। एंड थर्ड, मेडिटेशन कर सकते हैं। मेडिटेशन की बहुत किसी भी प्रकार से हम मेडिटेशन कर सकते हैं। एंड फोर्थ एंड लास्ट, काउंसलिंग, अगर हम स्ट्रेस से काफी बहुत जूझ रहे हैं या स्ट्रेस हमें काफी हो गया, हम स्ट्रेस को हैंडल नहीं कर पा रहे, तो हमें काउंसलिंग की हेल्प लेनी चाहिए। थेरेपिस्ट होते हैं तो काउंसलिंग नहीं, स्ट्रेसेस काउंसलिंग होते हैं जो उनसे बात करें, उनकी कोचिंग भी लगती है, तो आप कोचिंग भी ले सकते हो। एंड नेक्स्ट, अदर हेल्पफुल टिप्स, स्ट्रेस को रिलीव करने के लिए हम कुछ अदर हेल्पफुल टिप्स भी अपने डेली लाइफ में इंक्लूड कर सकते हैं, जैसे चेंजिंग परसेप्शन एंड एक्सेप्टेशन, हम अपने अनुभव को या अपनी अपेक्षाओं को, या जो हम किसी चीज को टालते रहते हैं या नजरअंदाज कर जाते हैं, उन्हें हमें चेंज करना चाहिए। जो हमारे लिए इम्पोर्टेंट है उसको पहला नंबर दे, जो हमारे लिए कुछ ज्यादा उपयोगी नहीं है उसे हम छोड़ दें। अगर हम उसी चीज को सोचते रहेंगे कि हमें ये अच्छा है या ये अच्छा है, तो हम उसी में भी स्ट्रेस आ जाता है। हमें एक चीज पर दृढ़ निश्चय कर लेना चाहिए, हमको ये करना है। एंड नेक्स्ट, ब्रेक जॉब्स टास्क एंड इनटू मैनेजेबल पार्ट्स, हमें अगर जॉब्स में या कोई हमें काम है उसमें हमें ज्यादा काम है, हम उसके बारे में सोच रहे हैं, तो हमें उसको एक मैनेजेबल पार्ट में ब्रेक कर देना चाहिए ताकि हम उसके बारे में ज्यादा ना सोचें। एंड नेक्स्ट, सेट रिस्पॉन्सिबल, हमें अपना गोल एक सेट कर देना चाहिए कि हमें यही करना है। अगर हम अपना गोल सेट नहीं करेंगे तो हम उसके बारे में अनएक्सेप्टेड ज्यादा ही सोचते रहेंगे, जो हमारे लिए ये स्ट्रेस का कारण बन सकता है। सेट बाउंड्रीज, हमें अपनी बाउंड्रीज सेट कर देनी चाहिए कि हम यहाँ तक काम करेंगे। अगर हम सोचते रहेंगे, अगर हम अपनी बाउंड्रीज सेट नहीं करेंगे तो हम इससे ज्यादा सोचते रहेंगे और वहां तक हम नहीं पहुंच पाएंगे। अगर हम उस लेवल तक नहीं पहुंचे जो हमने सेट करने से आगे किए तो ये भी स्ट्रेस का कारण हो सकता है। अवॉइड एंड डोंट compromise your value live and schedule me time, अपने आप को टाइम देना चाहिए। एंड अवॉइड कैफीन, मैं नशे से दूर रहना चाहिए। एंड नेक्स्ट, बेनिफिट्स ऑफ स्ट्रेस। अगर हम स्ट्रेस को तो हम अपने जीवन से खत्म नहीं कर सकते, लेकिन स्ट्रेस आना भी एक बहुत जरूरी है। स्ट्रेस से हम कुछ कंडीशंस, अगर हम किसी जंगल में गए और वहां हमारे सामने कोई भालू, शेर या अन्य जानवर आ गया तो वो स्ट्रेस हमारे लिए लाभदायक होगा। जैसे या तो हम उस स्ट्रेस हमारे अंदर वो स्ट्रेस से उससे लड़ने की शक्ति मिलेगी, या अगर हम उससे लड़ने के काबिल नहीं है तो हम वहां से भागेंगे। वो स्ट्रेस हमें भागने के लिए मजबूर करेगा। एंड बेनिफिट्स ऑफ स्ट्रेस मैनेजमेंट, हम स्ट्रेस को कैसे मैनेजमेंट करें ताकि उससे हमें लाभ हो। फिजिकल हेल्थ गेट्स बेटर, हम फिजिकली फिजिकल हेल्थ हमारे लिए बेटर होगी और हमें एनर्जी और स्टेमिना में बढ़ोतरी मिलेगी। इमोशन स्टेबलाइजर, पॉजिटिव एटीट्यूड, होपफुल एबिलिटी एंड फोकस इंप्रूव। कुछ बेनिफिट्स स्ट्रेस होते हैं जो हमारे लिए लाभदायक होते हैं, जो हमारी फिजिकल हेल्थ को बेटर करते हैं, हमारे अंदर एनर्जी का भाव बनाते हैं और हमें बहुत से स्ट्रेस पॉजिटिव एटीट्यूड में भी हमारे लिए मदद करते हैं और कुछ हेल्पफुल गोल्स को हमारे लिए सोचने पर मजबूर करते हैं एंड हमारा फोकस को इम्प्रूव करते हैं। एंड नेक्स्ट, रिलैक्स। Hello, my screen is show.
हाँ राहुल
हेलो
जी,
सर।
हाँ हम आपकी
ओके
स्क्रीन दिख रही है।
ओके ओके सर, थैंक यू। यस यस। अब आते हैं रिलैक्सेशन। हम स्ट्रेस को कैसे रिलैक्स करें। हमारा ब्रेन एक सेकंड में 14 साइकिल इलेक्ट्रिकल रेंज मतलब तरंगे को रिपीट करता है। हर एक सेकंड में हमारी 14 इलेक्ट्रिकल वेव्स साइकिल होती रहती है और इन रेज को हम बीटा रेज कहते हैं। एंड ग्रेट गेटिंग टास्क डन, ये हमारे लिए काम करने में मदद करती है, लेकिन ये वेव्स हमें कुछ नया सीखने में मदद नहीं करती। एंड टेकिंग ए फ्यू मिनट्स रिलैक्स, हमें कुछ समय के लिए एक स्लो रिलैक्स लेना चाहिए, डीपली या स्लोली। एंड यूर ब्रेन वेव्स डाउन, ताकि हमारी तरंगे मस्तिष्क की तरंगे धीमी हो जाए। दिस स्लोअर वेव्स आर अल्फा वेव्स। इन वेव्स को अल्फा वेव्स कहते हैं। दे आर वेव्स एट बिटवीन 7 and 14 साइकिल ए सेकेंड। ये जब हमारा मस्तिष्क या माइंड या ब्रेन स्लो और रिलैक्स होता है तब ये वेव्स 7 से 14 साइकिल पर सेकंड में होती है, यानी कि एक सेकंड में 7 से साइकिल होती है। एंड स्टडी शो अल्फा वेव्स इंप्रूव। ये अल्फा वेव्स हमें नई एक्टिविटीज कुछ स्किल्स सीखने में मदद करती है। एंड कुछ एप्स भी प्ले स्टोर पर मिल जाएंगे, हम इन एप्स को यूज कर उस एप्स को यूज करके हम अपने स्ट्रेस के लेवल को पता कर सकते हैं या और उसके बाद उसे मैनेज कर सकते हैं। एंड ब्रीफ माइंडफुलनेस एक्सरसाइज, कुछ रिलैक्स करने के लिए एक्सरसाइज भी होती है। ये एक्सरसाइज यूट्यूब पर मिल जाएगी। एंड थैंक यू एवरीवन। एंड एनी क्वेश्चंस?
वंडरफुल। राहुल जी, काफी अच्छा प्रेजेंटेशन दिया आपने।
थैंक यू सर।
हाँ राहुल, बहुत ही अच्छा रहा आपका प्रेजेंटेशन और
Thank you,
काफी
ma'am.
कॉन्फिडेंटली बात की आपने और बहुत अच्छी तरह से बताए सब पॉइंट्स। इट वाज वेरी नाइस एक्चुअली। शायद आपके पीछे बच्चे ज्यादा है इसके लिए उनकी आवाज आ रही है।
मैम शायद हमारे घर के सामने एक धर्मशाला है तो वहाँ पर बच्चे खेलते रहते हैं तो वहाँ से आ रही है।
ओके ओके, ठीक है ठीक है। बट
Yes,
इट
ma'am.
वाज अ वेरी गुड प्रेजेंटेशन।
थैंक
आपने
यू मैम।
हिंदी में ही दिया लेकिन बहुत ही
Yes,
कॉन्फिडेंटली
ma'am.
और बहुत अच्छी तरह से बताया। आपके
हाँ,
टीओपीजी, आप टीओपीजी में हो क्या?
यस मैम। लास्ट टीओपीजी मतलब 4 days हुए अभी टीओपीजी खत्म हुए।
अच्छा अच्छा, तो काफी इम्प्रूवमेंट ही लग रही है क्योंकि क्या है
यस
ना,
मैम।
अब रोहित, आई रियली फील कि TOPG is giving lot of improvement and assistance to everyone.
Yes,
That's
ma'am.
very
मानसी मैम,
nice.
हाँ मानसी मैम, मैं राहुल के बारे में एक चीज बताना चाहूंगा कि जब
हाँ।
मतलब कि जब 2 या फिर 4 वीक पहले जो ये प्रेजेंटेशन इवेंट हुआ था उस टाइम
हाँ।
राहुल का आई गेस तीसरा में जस्ट ज्वाइन हुए थे उस वक्त। फिर
हाँ,
वो
हाँ।
इंट्रोडक्शन में आई गेस वो क्रिकेट पे बहुत लंबा ब्लॉक में चले गए थे। एंड हाँ, एंड आज उन्होंने इतना अच्छा प्रेजेंटेशन दिया, सभी टेक्निक्स यूज किए। एंड आई एम श्योर कि अगर सूरज सर ने ये प्रेजेंटेशन देखा आपका तो फिर वो पक्के में बोलेंगे कि राहुल का बहुत इम्प्रूवमेंट है।
यस सर।
और राहुल, जिस तरह से आप में जो पॉजिटिविटी आई है ना, तो कॉन्फिडेंस को लेके जो चेहरे के ऊपर स्माइल है आपके, वैसे ही बरकरार रखना वो स्माइल, है ना? वो स्माइल, वो कॉन्फिडेंस, ये पॉजिटिविटी, यही हमारे लिए ना एक अंदर से ही हमको एक पॉजिटिवनेस देता है। और धीरे धीरे हमारी स्पीच के ऊपर कंट्रोल अच्छी आ जाती है। देखो आप आज आपने टेक्निक तो यूज की लेकिन उनकी जरूरत भी नहीं पड़ी, इतना फ्लो बहुत ही अच्छी तरह से फ्लो हो रहा था आपका स्पीच।
यस मैम। एक्चुअली तो मैं टेक्निक्स को भूल ही गया था, कुछ याद बस बाउंसिंग टेक्निक्स याद थी।
हाँ।
और टेक्निक्स
लेकिन
भूल
खाली
गया।
हम लोग अगर पॉज भी यूज करते हैं ना और धीरे बोलना, पॉजिंग और धीरे बोलने से भी बहुत 80% काम हो ही जाता है एक्चुअली।
यस मैम। यस यस।
एनीवे, टेक्निक्स का यूज करो आप। और ऐसे आपका जो प्रेजेंटेशन अभी रिकॉर्ड किया होगा रोहिल जी ने, तो उसको आप सुनो खुद कभी शांति से। हमेशा जो हमारी रिकॉर्डिंग है ना, जब हम सुनते हैं ना, तो उसमें हमें काफी फिर इम्प्रूवमेंट करने को मौका मिलता है। समझ में आए ना?
यस मैम।
ओके। एंड
ओके, थैंक यू मैम।
जानवी, आपका भी प्रेजेंटेशन अच्छा रहा सोशल मीडिया के ऊपर का. I'm really happy you did a very good presentation. But you missed some points with related to my age about TV and propaganda, that these politicians use social media in a wrong way, to spread the propaganda and ensure कि बाबा people को कैसे divert करें और सोसाइटी में कैसे स्ट्रेस फैलाए, या तो लोगों को कैसे डिवाइड एंड रूल करे. उसके लिए जब ये सोशल मीडिया यूज होता है ना, then it is a very sad part basically. Means we
Yes,
are
that's
using
the
the
point.
technology for the, we are using technology not in a good way but in a bad way. जैसे बॉम्ब हमने जो क्या बोलते हैं उसको, एटम का यूज किया हमने ब्लास्ट करने के लिए, इंस्टेड ऑफ अगर एटम से हम एनर्जी ही जनरेट कर सकते हैं, लेकिन उसके बदले में हम लोग ने बॉम्ब एक्सप्लोजन किए. उस तरह से ही ये हो रहा है सोशल मीडिया का थोड़ा सा, विच इज द सैडेस्ट पार्ट. बट वेरी वेल एक्सप्लेन बाय यू, दो इट वाज वेरी शॉर्ट बट वेरी वेल डन.
Thanks a lot, ma'am.
राहुल जी, मुझे एक सवाल है आपके प्रेजेंटेशन पे. आपने बताया कि कैसे स्ट्रेस को मैनेज किया जा सकता है,
यस
पर
यस
हम हकलाने वाले लोगों का स्ट्रेस काफी ज्यादा होता है, खासकर हम जब
Yes, sir.
स्ट्रेंजर से बात करें या हमारे प्रोफेसर्स या हमारे बॉस से बात करें. तो फिर इस सिनेरियो में हम अपना स्ट्रेस कैसे मैनेज कर सकते हैं? क्या आप इस पे
Yes, sir.
बता सकते हो?
सर यस, एक्चुअली जब हम स्टेमर करते हैं तो हमारी या तो ब्रीथिंग धीमे हो जाती है या तेज हो जाती है. तो उस टाइम हमारे लिए सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट एक ही इलाज है, ब्रीथिंग एक्सरसाइज. हमें अपनी ब्रीथिंग को कंट्रोल करना है. उसी टाइम कुछ ब्रीथिंग टेक्निक्स का यूज करके, या तो आप भी डीप ब्रीथिंग कर सकते हो या स्लोली ब्रीथिंग कर सकते हो. एंड एक और है, आप अपने माइंड को, जब हम बॉस से या किसी अजनबी से बात कर रहे हैं तो हमें अपना मन उस अजनबी से हटाकर किसी अन्य चीजों पर ले जाना चाहिए. तो उससे हमें रिलैक्स मिलेगा, हम उसके बारे में नहीं सोचेंगे जी.
थैंक यू
थैंक यू
राहुल जी.
थैंक यू सर.
सो अगर राहुल के लिए कोई क्वेश्चन है तो वो पूछ सकते हैं. ओके, लगता है कि कोई सवाल नहीं है, पर थैंक यू राहुल, आपने काफी अच्छा प्रेजेंटेशन दिया.
थैंक यू सर एंड थैंक यू एवरीवन.
Okay, so guys, today we are done with all the presentations, and every presentations had a unique message within themselves. So thank you for joining, and especially thank you to all the participants to taking part. And if anyone wants to share anything, so they can share it before concluding this event. Okay, so thank you everyone. Thank you once again for joining this. Have a wonderful evening. Bye.
Thank you
Bye,
so much.
everybody.
थैंक
Thank
यू
you so much.
एवरीवन. थैंक यू.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
बाय.